Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from the Grand Hotel. And we are here because Mackinac is where the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce chooses to have their annual policy conference. And what comes out of this policy conference? All kinds of essential announcements, news, etc. And you guys, you ladies, are always the ones who kind of bring some of that. So we have Britany Caine. And Britany, it's good to have you here. You are the executive director of the University Research Center. Congratulations on your new member, by the way. We'll get to that in a second. And Theile, who's COO, although I think you go further than that, of the Anderson Economic Group. It's good to have you ladies here. Always is. It is. So let me start this by saying, what's new? Because you're always bringing something.
We're very industrious. And we're actually no longer the University Research Corridor. We rebranded on Tuesday. We are now the Research Universities for Michigan. Not the acronym is not RUM, although if it were, Michigan would run on RUM. But no, actually what we are is RU4, because we now have four R1s for Michigan. RU4M, RU for Michigan. Are you for Michigan?
I am.
Yes, we know. Thank you. So, and that is another exciting thing. We rebranded. It's this, we have the same mission, but a new name, and we're having broader impact. We've brought in Michigan Tech University because they are Michigan's most recently designated Research One institution. And for your listeners, that's the highest level of research for institutions, that designation. And so we are delighted to have them. They're really unique too because they are one of the few R1s in the nation that is in a rural area. But bringing them in, we've always had impact across the state, which Tyler and AG have always done a great job of showcasing that in our economic impact reports. But now we have, I think, for most folks, a more visual, tangible connection that spreads across the state. And we couldn't be more pleased to have them part of this. And it's good for Michigan, too, to have four R1s.
It's so interesting because I've been on that campus many times, and it's so interesting to hear you call it a rural area. I'm not sure they would totally agree with that, but you can only generate so much population up there. You know what I mean? All right. So current research, what did we find?
Well, it takes a lot of integrity, like RU for Michigan has decided to do for so many years to let us pull this data, benchmark it, compare it, publish it when it's high, publish it when it's low. And what we're seeing is consistent commitment to these specific R&D and innovation areas where Michigan can grow in the future. And so we kind of have three new, I guess, deliverables or tools that the public can use. We've recently done the economic impact of federal dollars only at RU4 Michigan. We have the new data portfolio out. And as part of that, there are market snapshots for every MSA and then also the micro statistical areas in Michigan. The more and more are getting added every day as we finish them. And it makes it so there's really no Michigander left out. There's a tool for you now on their website that can give you more information on not just what the data has been, but what the talent pipeline is looking to be for the next few decades so that economic developers and other decision makers can make good decisions and good pitches and use that information.
It's interesting because we do our Michigan Future Business Index every 6 months, and the trending that you build, the longer you do that, is every bit as essential. You've seen some consistency in that at this point?
Yeah, I think so. And who knows, right? And that's kind of the challenge. Research University for Michigan has always been about raising awareness about what these institutions contribute to Michigan, to the economy, to communities, to individuals, their lives and livelihoods, right? We're also about aligning our assets at the university with economic development. We work closely with MEDC and some of the larger economic development organizations in the state. But what we are realizing is we're not as engaged in other parts, more rural parts, other parts further away from our main campuses. Even though we have impact there, we don't really go and engage. And so this data portfolio is our effort to hit those two things. We package curated information in a very accessible, easily understand way, so you don't have to be an academic to get it. And we have
Why is she pointing at me?
no, But you would get it right away. But we're packaging that up and putting it in this portfolio that has downloadable information, and it's intended not only for our regular partners at MEDC and Detroit Regional Partnership and so on, but for the smaller places. We were just talking to Port Huron and how they can everybody can use that for economic development in their region, specifically business attraction and growth. And so how do these universities help them? And they can use that information right in their pitch pieces if they want, as well as the market snapshots. And there are stories in there as well that help illustrate the data.
Well, and that's important. We do a lot of storytelling here, and it really, I guess, exemplifies a bigger picture, which is really good. Ladies, thanks so very much,
Can I give
Britany,
the
Tyler.
address?
You can.
Because we have a new URL,
Oh,
myresearchuniversities.org, myresearchuniversities.org.
all right. There you go. Now you can find everything you want, right? Chris Holman here. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. Give our best to Dr. Patrick, if you would. All right. We're going to be right back. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network, coming to you from the Grand Hotel and the Mackinac Island Policy Conference.